Yes, Link's Awakening is coming in just a few short days, so Blossom Tales is finally relevant again, and I've wanted to talk about this game for a long time. It's been out on Switch for quite a while, so if you're not sure about jumping into Link's Awakening at the $60 price tag, you can try out Blossom Tales for a lot cheaper and kind of see if you like that classic 2D Zelda experience first. Blossom Tales is clearly inspired by early 2D Zelda games, and the developer Castle Pixel isn't shy about admitting it. Even the opening cutscene mentions Zelda and Hyrule. FDG Entertainment is the publisher behind the game, and they're also responsible for the Oceanhorn and Monster Boy series, which have both been very successful titles on the Nintendo Switch. Blossom Tales is basically a Link's Awakening style Zelda game, but scaled down a bit. So you're going to get less dungeons, less side quests, and the playtime is only around 10 to 20 hours. However, this doesn't mean the game is bad at all. It's fantastic. Just realize it's going to be a shorter experience, which is perfect if you're just trying to get a feel for Link's Awakening, or you just want another classic Zelda-like game to play. The game regularly goes on sale for half price, but even at full price for $15, it's still a great pickup. The story is actually very much like Link's Awakening, except instead of collecting musical instruments to wake the windfish, you are collecting 4 ingredients to create an elixir. This elixir will wake up the king who has been put under a sleeping curse by his evil sorcerer brother, Crocus. Much in the same way Link was tasked with saving Hyrule at a young age, Lily must do the same almost as soon as she is sworn in as a Knight of the Rose. Even the first dungeon deals with a Deku Tree lookalike. Since the game is short, the story moves very quickly, which is fine. There isn't any long drawn out cutscenes, you just get the important information and then you are on your way. Along with the main story, there are also a few longer side quests to complete, one involving delivering letters to several of the folks in the land. Completing side quests extends the game's playtime quite a bit. All in all, the story isn't anything special, but it is charming in its own way. Visually, the game looks more like A Link to the Past, so we get those awesome 16-bit graphics. The colors are vivid, the special effects are stunning, and the lighting is on point, especially for a small indie game. The music also took me by surprise. The Ice Cavern Dungeon is probably my favorite track, and just gets me so pumped to smash any enemy or obstacle in my way, and I've actually listened to this track quite a bit outside of actually playing the game. Blossom Tales' presentation does remind me a lot of Link's Awakening, and that both games come off as cheerful and fun, but underneath that surface are dark stories at play. Step out in the main overworld and be greeted by butterflies, a variety of different color of flowers, and travelers willing to help you out. However, go east to the Gasping Marshes and be met by pirates and ghosts. Go north and you'll see Crocus's evil lair. Basically, the game comes off as a cute, cheery indie game with gorgeous pixel art and a variety of contrasting areas to explore. The game consists of 4 main dungeons, a ton of variety of enemies, and lots of items and magic skills to use. Lots of these overlap with Link's Awakening and other Zeldas, but there is still quite a bit of items specific to Blossom Tales. First off, you have a stamina bar, which is used by all of your items, even the bow, the bombs, etc. In this way, you don't ever run out, which I prefer. So think of it like how the bombs work in Breath of the Wild. You can use as many as you want, but they require a charge to use. The magical items were such a nice addition as it adds so much variety to the combat. One of the earlier ones you get sends out an earthquake type wave to hurt surrounding enemies and knock them back, and others include shooting fireballs, energy beams, etc. Some require a lot of stamina to use, so there is a trade-off there, but I like these though because it can really change how you fight certain enemies and lets you tackle things in different ways, much in the same way Breath of the Wild works with its combat system. I also really love the sword move that lets you jump up and slam into enemies. It's so fun that I often use it to traverse the world quicker. The puzzles in this game are what really make it shine. Too often in Zelda games, they reuse the same old puzzles. Move a block here, light these torches, etc. But in Blossom Tales, the puzzles constantly made me think and were actually pretty challenging. I've always loved the puzzles where you had to step on every tile without going back on one you've already stepped on, and some of these actually kept me thinking for quite a while, and they can be real easy or super complex. I don't know why I like it so much, but maybe it's because it reminds me of my boy Qbert back on the PlayStation 1. Torchlighting is also a bit different than it is in Zelda. In this particular room, you had to go around in circles lighting torches with your arrow while the floor was falling. You couldn't see where the torches were because they were off screen, so you had to keep constantly going in a circle and firing your torches in every direction. It just added more challenge to the stale puzzle of, hey, light all these torches. Also, the boss fights are just epic. They remind me a lot of Enter the Gungeon, especially with the Fire Temple boss. Shit just gets crazy. The fireballs are going everywhere and you're just constantly trying to dodge and not die. It was one of the hardest bosses I experienced in this game. Not to mention, each dungeon also has mini bosses, keys, maps, etc., just like Zelda. My point is, don't walk into Blossom Tales thinking it will be a breeze because you are a Zelda pro. Some puzzles might stump you. Link's Awakening will be here before we know it. Even if you've played it already, Blossom Tales is a unique and great indie game in its own right. If you aren't sure about Link's Awakening, try out Blossom Tales first. And if you've already played Link's Awakening and you liked it, you'll surely adore this game. What other Zelda-like indie games have you found on Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments below and I'll see ya later.